I think we need to start by giving nature a seat at the table. For too long, we've used the products of nature really without fully considering the impacts that has on biodiversity and the ecosystem services that it provides. We really need to shift away from the old mindset where we see nature as a risk or a cost, or maybe adding additional maintenance requirements, and really start to see it as integral to project success. And so we really need to start embedding that voice for nature in the decisions that we make. We know that biodiversity loss and climate change are both intrinsically linked and both being driven by human activities. For example, around 40% of the world's carbon emissions come from the construction, operation and maintenance of buildings. Construction industry also uses a huge amount of resources and creates a large proportion, around a third of the world's waste, as well as being the second largest driver to biodiversity loss. The sector's value chain is also highly dependent on products from nature, and we're really yet to fully understand the biodiversity impacts that are kind of embodied in the value chain through the materials that we use in construction across the whole life cycle of a building. We may have primarily been focused on resource efficiency, energy efficiency, operational carbon previously. The sector is now getting to grips with a much wider range of issues, and some of them are quite complex. For example, whole life carbon or biodiversity net gain. The sector's taking the opportunity to take more of a leadership position and seeing these issues as areas where we can innovate, where we can lead sustainability, drive efficiency. The industry is really well positioned to make quite a significant contribution here, because not only is it a really diverse industry with lots of different knowledge and skills, but it's also an industry where we're really used to working across disciplines, which is crucial for addressing sustainability issues. We must challenge ourselves really to consider what we can each do in our own sphere of influence. And that starts with developing our own understanding and knowledge on this topic, because actually there's quite a skills gap in terms of green skills in the industry currently. And there is a huge demand with people with the knowledge and understanding and expertise to address these issues. The industry must rapidly increase momentum now towards decarbonising the built environment and building the homes and infrastructure that we need without destroying the natural environment. You know, really we are at a crisis point now, and future generations will judge us on whether or not we were able to take action before it was too late.